Good morning. As Interim Dean of the Faculty of Arts and Science, I'm delighted to welcome our graduates, their families, their friends, and our distinguished guests to this Faculty of Arts and Science Convocation ceremony. Je vous souhaite la bienvenue en ce jour de collation des grades. Without further delay, let's begin our celebration and join Ms. Danielle Pullin, soprano, in the singing of O Canada.
Good morning et bienvenue. If all we ever say is thank you, it is enough. These are the words of Meister Eckhart from the 13th century. Giving thanks is indeed a profound way to honor our past, present, and future. And today we indeed give thanks. Merci pour vos années d'études et d'apprentissage. Thank you for friendships formed, for lessons learned, for obstacles encountered which make us stronger. Merci pour nos communautés, nos amis et nos familles, et pour la richesse de notre diversité. Thank you for this present time, this time to pause and breathe. Merci pour ce rassemblement et cette célébration. Thank you for our dreams and hopes to change the world. Merci pour nos rêves d'un monde de paix et d'harmonie. So let us say, thank you, danke, meda wase, shukran, arigato, sanyavad, toda rabba, gratia, merci. Veuillez vous asseoir, please be seated.
Chers diplômés, distingués invités, Mr. Blaise, Mesdames et Messieurs, tout d'abord, félicitations à chacun et à chacune de nos diplômés en cette magnifique journée de réjouissance. This is indeed a momentous occasion for you, our graduates. I recall my days in your shoes a long time ago, I care to admit. And I remember how excited I was to have made it through my degree and made my professors proud. It's also a big day for your support networks, both old and new, your families, loved ones and friends, yes, but also the Concordia community of students, staff, faculty, and your fellow alumni. Now, although we're here to celebrate your achievements as graduates, I know that you'll find that after graduation, the best is yet to come. Through trial and error, and let's hope through trial and success, you will hone your skills and expertise adding to the critical mass of higher learning that you've attained here at Concordia. Vous le savez tous, toutes les valeurs d'une formation universitaire est incontestable. Et en obtenant votre diplôme, vous avez acquis un grand avantage dans notre société. Mais il y a autre chose. Albert Einstein once said to a group of new graduates, much like you, and I quote, "It's high time that the ideal of success should be replaced by the ideal of service," end quote. And he was right. I can tell you from personal experience that success is not determined by financial wealth or even the approval of your peers through honors or accolades, however welcome they may be. Success is defined, I feel, by the degree to which you positively touch people that you come across in your personal, professional, and civic lives. I know it's disarmingly simple, but it's my version of the golden rule, and I know that it's a sure path to success and to happiness. En tant que citoyen averti et engagé, vous, les diplômés, vous êtes bien placés pour exercer une influence extrêmement bénéfique sur notre monde en constante évolution. Your generation will either suffer or benefit from the decisions that your elders are making in the field of healthcare, pension reform, for instance, the environment, and our economy, amongst other issues. The challenges on all these fronts are significant. Why pretend they're not? But despite these issues, I think there's much room for optimism. Why? Because as always, there's no shortage of opportunities to get involved. Get out and vote in every election. Volunteer, if you can, in areas where your interests, where your passions must meet the public need. Plan to play an active role, if you can, depending on your calling, in the public service, to change the system from within. Technology, as you know and use it every day, will only accelerate change in this century. To thrive rather than merely survive, you'll have to be adaptable and resilient. You'll have to be change leaders as opposed to followers or victims. How? Well, make that same technology work for you. Use the social media to start a social movement, or use your Concordia contacts to create your own startup business or NGO, much like some of your past alumni, such as Gabriel Brand-Lopez with Youth Fusion has done so successfully. Wherever you go and whatever you do, the harvest of knowledge, experience, and values that you've gathered here at Concordia will be as relevant for society as you make it. Chers diplômés, je vous dis à tous et à toutes à nouveau, bravo. Et je vous encourage sincèrement à rêver, à explorer les choses qui n'existent pas encore, puisque c'est ainsi que vous allez changer le monde et bâtir l'avenir. I'm happy that we share a meaningful connection through Concordia, and I hope that today is indeed the beginning of your lifelong bond with our university and with our community. So I say again, well done to all of you, and good luck. Enjoy the moment. Merci beaucoup. I now call upon our President and Vice Chancellor, Alan Shepard, to come forward and address you. Alan?
Bonjour. C'est un grand plaisir de vous voir assemblés ici aujourd'hui pour célébrer le diplômé de 2013. Convocation is a ritual in one's life. Like a wedding or the birth of a child, it's a turning point. Après cette cérémonie, vous resterez à tout jamais des diplômés de Concordia. J'espère que votre expérience à l'université a transformé votre existence et que vous tirez une grande fierté du travail que vous avez accompli. You have become an integral member of the Concordia community and its distinguished mission. Concordia springs from two institutions, Loyola College, founded in 1896, followed the teachings of St. Ignatius of Loyola. The Jesuit tradition prizes rigorous critical thinking and lives of service to others. Considérés comme les extravertis de l'Église catholique, les Jésuites ont aussi voulu amener l'enseignement dans la rue, avec le désir de changer la vie des autres. Founded in 1926, Sir George Williams University is named after the founder of the YMCA movement, which included adult education. Sir George served primarily those adults who needed to attend night school because of family or employment or both. Today, the modern Concordia continues to offer an exceptional university education that honors these two traditions. Today, we are what I call a next generation university. We prepare a diverse group of students across many academic disciplines for a global world that loves our graduates' can-do attitude, your brilliance, your entrepreneurial energy, your desire to make a difference in the world, and your ambition to make the world a better place. As Mahatma Gandhi famously said, be the change you want to see in the world. No one knows the value of your education here better than your fellow Concordia graduates. Alors, profitez-en, gardez le contact avec eux, and stay in touch with us. Bonne chance et merci. We're proud of you.
Mr. Chancellor, it is my honor to present to you Clark Blaze, teacher, literary arts advocate, and award-winning author. Mr. Clark Blaze has played a huge role in the development of creative writing programs at Concordia University and across North America. Born in the United States to Canadian parents, Mr. Blaze earned an MFA from the University of Iowa in 1964. Soon thereafter, he joined Concordia, then Sir George Williams, where he founded the creative writing program. Au cours des années suivantes, à titre de professeur et de directeur de programme, il a influencé de nombreux jeunes écrivains, dont beaucoup ont ensuite fait leur marque dans le monde de lettres et de l'éducation. Issues of Canadian identity have been central to Mr. Blaze's work. In his words, nearly everything I've written touches on that notion that Canada is a distinct society with a distinct history and tastes and great accomplishments. His fiction explores the complex conditions of displacement and alienation with characters navigating in a foreign culture and place. His many previous tributes include an Arts and Letters Award for Literature from the American Academy in 2003 and an honorary doctorate from McGill University in 2004. He was named an officer of the Order of Canada in 2010. Since 2002, Mr. Blaze has been president of the Society for the Study of the Short Story. Mr. Chancellor, on behalf of Senate and the Board of Governors, it is my privilege and honor to present to you Mr. Clark Blaze so that you may confer upon him the degree of Doctor of Literature, honoris causa.
my pleasure to invite Dr. Blaise to make his convocation address. Dr. Blaise.
It's a great day for all of us. When I began teaching creative writing 47 years ago at Sir George Williams University and then at Concordia, I was younger than many of my students. That's how we did it in those years. We taught young students by day and older employed students by night. It was both a teaching and learning experience for me, and I apologize to any in the visitors gallery who suffered through those early years when I aspired to be a literary theorist, even more than a simple short story writer. Of course, Alice Munro has taught the world, and especially Canadians, that the apparently simple short story is a richly complicated invention. My inner theorist, however, never died. So in the spirit of convocation speakers for the past 1,000 years, I'll offer some theoretical observations and at least one practical bit of precaution. One of the theories I'm fond of, though hardly original with me, is the notion that all the arts, visual, kinetic, literary, oral, turn on a heightened sensitivity to energy. Even the beginning artist is irresistibly attracted to energy. Implicit energy of language, of color, of form, of sound, of movement. He or she sees in the simplest objects, in the blandest speech. Yet if she or he does not learn to pour energy into a mold of form or control its shape and its flow, energy alone will result in higher forms of incoherence. The heightened response to energy is artistic, it is scientific, it is economic, it is athletic. Consider the eloquent history of two teacups. One is empty, perhaps a crescent of lipstick flecks its rim, or not, it doesn't matter. The other is half full, but cool to the touch. No one's around. The poet, the writer, the painter feels the energy, the power of inanimate objects, and imagines a drama of an hour earlier. Was there an argument? Did half full storm out, leaving crescent mug to finish her tea alone? Any number of interpretations are possible, and by reverse engineering, we may even get back to a true reading of the events an hour earlier. Maybe nothing happened. So much depends, as William Carlos Williams may have said, on unwashed teacups. Alice Munro might have written it. Edward Hopper might have painted it, or Chekhov set it to drama. Every morning I rise early to make tea for my wife and me. We have 3 mugs, one inscribed simply Quebec, that I bought for 25 cents in a flea market in Southampton, Long Island. The second, called Pittsburghese, prints several words or pronunciations used only by people from Pittsburgh, which was bought for me 20 years ago by our older son when he was shooting a movie in Pittsburgh. The third, Muscular Skeleton, is the name of a journal published by the University of Iowa's Muscular Dystrophy Clinic, which was sent to me by the clinic's director. 3 mugs, rotating for our tea, yet I feel if any of them should crack, my heart would crack too. And any 2 of them placed together are worth a novel. The Quebec mug recalls the fact that I am a child of Quebec. My parents met and married in Montreal. I was conceived in 1939 Montreal, but delivered in 1940 North Dakota. My father was born and raised in a Quebec village east of here, and a dozen of his brothers and sisters are buried in the church cimetière. Of his 17 brothers and sisters, 12 died before the 8th grade. All died from waterborne diseases because they lived on the septic shore of a lake and a river that flooded the woods and facilitated the floating out of logs. But that was a different century, the 19th, and besides, that village, as he and I knew it, has been erased from the face of the earth. It is called Lac Mégantic, and many's the day my father and I sat on benches at the lakeside as he unrolled stories about my grandfather, Achille Blais, a log walker in summer, a skater in winter. But I was a high school boy in Pittsburgh, and undoubtedly I spoke that ghastly local dialect. And my older son, who bought that mug from me 20 years ago in Pittsburgh when he was a cameraman, is also the source of the third mug, the muscular skeletal. He is now wheelchair-bound from muscular dystrophy, a direct inheritor of my much less obvious genetic dystrophy burden, but a clear denominator of our Quebecois identity, since myotonic muscular dystrophy on this continent is an ethno-specific marker of Frenchness. And here's my bit of practical advice. If your ancestry in whole or part is New World French, Quebecois, Cajun, or Cajun, Métis, a simple cheek swab might save you and your children a world of pain. And the runaway train that excavated the heart of Lac Mégantic, that killed 47 people in the dead of night and melted those concrete benches. One elderly woman I heard in an interview saved herself by jumping into the lake following the shouted command, "C'est le bout du monde, cours vers le lac." The tank cars were loaded with crude oil pumped from the newly discovered fields in my native state of North Dakota. Only in the most outrageously overplotted novel could one character experience in his lifetime his native North Dakota crude oil destroy his ancestral village in southeastern Quebec. Such a ridiculous coincidence must truly make the writing god hang her head. Murderous, incoherent energy in its rawest form, unmitigated by shape or purpose. And so this is a convocation parable. Be alert to energy, but capture it. It's everywhere. Find it and embrace it in whatever field you choose. It will sustain you, but it can burn you up. Draw upon the energy, even the energy of inanimate objects, inert teacups. They're trying to communicate. Energy comes first, but it's the power to contain it that comes later and must be learned. It's what you've learned in your Concordia years. It's what we've all been trying to teach. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Blaise, for that extremely moving convocation address. I think we'll remember it for some time. I know that Clark was in Lac Mégantic earlier this week, and he spoke of his experience there as well. I think his allegory of the three mugs and of energy is also, in many ways, inspirational. You know, when he was a young man, a young professor, Clark had the energy, the audacity to believe that writing could be taught and made and developed through the creation of the creative writing program at the time at Sir George University. And I think you'll all agree that because of the energy that he put and the passion he put in that conviction, that we're all beneficiaries today of the community of writers and men and women who've emerged here in Montreal and also elsewhere in the world thanks to work he did at Concordia, and in so doing have enriched our lives. So on your behalf, thank you again for a great speech. Thank you. I'm not going anywhere, so.
Mr. Chancellor, on behalf of Senate, I present to you the candidates for the doctoral and doctorate degrees, for the master and magisteriate degrees, and for the graduate diplomas and certificates in the Faculty of Arts and Science. I certify that these candidates have fulfilled the requirements for these degrees, diplomas, and certificates. Monsieur le Chancelier, au nom du Sénat, je vous présente les candidats au doctorat et à la maîtrise, ainsi qu'au diplôme et au certificat de deuxième cycle de la Faculté des Arts et des Sciences. J'atteste qu'ils satisfont aux exigences de ces grades, diplômes et certificats. Will the doctoral and doctorate, master and magisteriate, diploma and certificate candidates please stand?
Look good. Okay, here goes. Listen. By the authority of the corporation and the Board of Governors of the University, I admit each of you to the appropriate degree, diploma, or certificate as approved by the Senate and certified by the Provost. And I grant you with the title, honor, duties, rights, and privileges which are linked to these degrees, diplomas, or certificates. À titre de chancelier et en vertu de l'autorité de la Corporation et du Conseil des gouverneurs de l'Université, je vous confère les grades, diplômes ou certificats sur l'attestation du Sénat et je vous octroie tous les titres, honneurs, devoirs, droits et privilèges afférents à ces grades, diplômes ou certificats. Congratulations, you may be seated.
Mr. Chancellor, on behalf of Senate, I present to you the candidates for the bachelor and baccalaureate degrees in the Faculty of Arts and Science. I certify that these candidates have fulfilled the requirements for these degrees. Monsieur le Chancelier, au nom du Sénat, je vous présente les candidats au baccalauréat de la Faculté des Arts et des Sciences. J'atteste qu'ils satisfont aux exigences de ce grade. Will the bachelor and baccalaureate candidates please stand?
I see you didn't come alone. Welcome. By the authority of the corporation and the Board of Governors of the University, I admit each of you to the bachelor or baccalaureate degrees as approved by the Senate and certified by the Provost. And I grant you with the title, honors, duties, rights, and privileges which are linked to these degrees, diplomas, or certificates. À titre de chancelier et en vertu de l'autorité de la Corporation et du Conseil des gouverneurs de l'Université, je vous confère les grades de bachelier ou de baccalauréat sur l'attestation du Sénat et je vous octroie tous les titres, honneurs, devoirs, droits et privilèges afférents à ces grades, diplômes ou certificats. Félicitations, congratulations, you may be seated.
I invite you all to enjoy the music of the brass quartet.
Good morning. We encourage you to cheer and applaud your graduate However, we ask that you refrain from using horns, drums, or any assorted noisemakers. We have to ask. And we ask that as your graduate reaches center stage, please allow for a pause for the focus to shift to the next graduate. I'm pleased to introduce to you the candidates for the Doctorate in Philosophy for the following programs: Communication, Educational Technology, Psychology, Religion, Special Individualized Programs, Social Sciences, Biology, Chemistry, Mathematics, and Physics. Rokena Senjakdar. Ivy Sarah Brooker. Marie-Ève Dubois. Carlos Roncero. Nassim Tabri. Andrea Gondos. Andrew Renahan. Alan Wong. Yuan Zhang. Leah Lewis. Baru Islam Chaudhry. Congratulations. Well done, man. Proud of you. Chris Elvidge. Hala Khalil. Soran Jahangiri. Saeed Ahmadi. Zhenyang Li. Nicoletta Harascu. Medhi Najafi. I'm pleased to introduce to you the candidates for the Master of Magisteriate in Arts for the following programs: Hispanic Studies, Applied Linguistics, Child Studies, Educational Studies, Education Technologies, Economics, English, History, History and Philosophy of Religion, Human Systems Intervention, Journalism Studies, Judaic Studies, Literature francophone et résonance médiatique, Media Studies, Philosophy, Psychology, Public Policy and Public Administration, Social and Cultural Anthropology, Sociology, Special Individualized Programs, Theological Studies, and Traductology. Augusto Gutierrez. Your name disappeared. Catherine Ashmore. Wanderlei Gasparetto. Shokri Gohar. Liana Jaladian. Azar Kodiari. Elizabeth Plaxton. Ryan Joshua Perseram. Stephanie Kayao Gothro. Jennifer Head. Madeline Ward. Hawa Diao. Ayavi Mawan Mawanyo. Okay. Dogby. Sorry. Tien Gan. Parto Karimi. Zebula Tarshi. Nan Wang. Christopher Chabon. Meredith Darling. Graham DeRosier. Kelly Nora Drucker. Catherine Rossi. Puria Alamuradi Pilirud. Sarah Meisner. Nicholas Abestris. Riyam Ahmed. Sepida Alier. Heather Angus. Catalina Barbarosi. Betty Bondo. Eleanor Dufour. Anne Louise Howard. Sarah Ranson. Rochelle Selvin. Carly Watson. Ilana Kellerman. Kiera Maeve Briscoe. Vanessa Iacano. Jin Xia Li. Joanna Roszkiewska. Megan Wood. Anaita Baladi. Jacqueline Louise Lemieux. Shireen Abdamali. Joseph Folco. Brian Cadero. Karen Cortland Kelly. Sandra Scarlett. Mona Sakiu Katrinescu. I'm pleased to introduce to you the candidates for the Master of Magisteriate in Science from the following programs: Biology, Chemistry, Exercise Science, Geography, Urban and Environmental Studies, Mathematics, and Physics. Mahmoud Karim. Jameson Dhaliwal. Amin Osmani. Congrats. Alejandra Gomez Perez. Mark Guterman. Melina Jeremilo Garcia. Dipti Patel. Zornitsa Stoyanova. Caitlin Gresty. Rima Wardini. Ye Li.
Namen Nazar Nia. Camilo Ortiz. Alicia Pozzi. Juliana Schultz. Felix Sadakin. Andrew Collins McRae. I'm pleased to introduce to you the candidates for the Master of Magisteriate in the Teaching of Mathematics. Dalia Chalita. I'm pleased to introduce to you the candidates for the graduate diploma in the following programs: Communication Studies, Community Economic Development, Environmental Assessment, Traduction, and Biotechnology and Genomics. Erin Lindsay. Caitlin Mullen. Jean Nicolai. Veronique Tiverge. Jesse Umby. Megan Coho Kenny. Margaret Frazier. Robin Grantner. Angelica Novoa. Noemi Parmelo Cloutier. Mohammed Shamsur Rahman. Imen Asin. Shauna McGee. I'm pleased to introduce to you the candidates for the Graduate Certificate in Psychology Clinical. Kiera Maeve Briscoe. Vanessa Iacono. Jinxia Lee. One more chance. Joanna Roszeszewska. Megan Wood.
I am pleased to introduce to you the candidates for the Bachelor of Baccalaureate in Arts from the following departments: Applied Human Sciences, Classics, Modern Languages and Linguistics, Communication Studies, Economics, Education, English, Études Françaises, Geography, Planning and Environment, History, Interdisciplinary Studies, Journalism, and Mathematics and Statistics. Aline Benganyan. Annie Code Bousquet. Jordana Kane. Amber Cousins. Jennifer Dallaire. Elaine Davis. Katena Filiuzzi. Charles Caboy. Andréane Lamonde. Alicia McLean, with distinction. Jessica Malls. Sophie Moran DiNardo. Hold on. Chana Miskovsky, with distinction. Palig Narkisian. Madalena Radu, with distinction. Marianne Rame. Jack Sotiri Teller. Congratulations. Maria Vertulo. Cedric Wallace. Alex Wong. Carolina Zulaga, with distinction. Chelsea Lee Brennan. Mark Carosella. Martin Desmarais, with great distinction, honors Spanish literature and society. Well done. Sorena Yadatnuzri, with distinction. Lydia Lesanu. Fabrizio Pantalone. Lina Peralta Rubiano. Johannes Yotakis, with great distinction. Joel Bernstein, with distinction. Tiffany Brasgold. Emily Carey, with distinction. Roberto De Rose. Suzelle Desrosiers Smith, with distinction. Dana El Ghazal. Jihan Fenai. Kalika Isolde Hastings. Nicola Hyde with distinction. Vanessa Kingsland Lavoie. Alessandra McGovern with distinction. Rachel Molenda with distinction. Giuseppe Joey Morabito. Stavros Revelakis. Sultan Nizar Alajami. Diana Arabian. Aziza Assad. Magid Alabasi Fahami.
Sabrina Gilbert.
Sabrina Gilbert with great distinction, honors economics, member of Institute for Cooperative Education. Sandra Jaburian. Khalid Jamjoon.
Francesco Penimpede.
Okay, that's easy. Francesco Penimpede. Kareem Saad. Arif Said Hamad. Johanna Soldatos. Tamara Hayat. Faza Carey with distinction. Hilary Marion Powell with distinction. Jessica Prioletta with great distinction. Laura Tenalia. Marina Alajikova. Veronica Balafi with distinction, honors English literature. Kathleen Carter honors English literature. Dylan Collette with distinction. Jeremy Dobsky. Maria Filippone. Iris Mel Elder Church with distinction.
Sarah Israel.
I still don't have one. Sarah Israel with distinction. Michael Johnson. Lisa Kellogg. Caitlin LaRue. Mark Schmidt with distinction, honors English and creative writing.
Jake Stevens.
Jake Stevens. Emily Woods with distinction, honors English literature. Eve Arsenault Brennan. Samuel Dupont-Foisy with distinction, member of Institute for Cooperative Education. Marie Sarah Goblensky. Liliana Gomez. Christelle Saint-Julien. Andrea Winterhalter with great distinction, member of Institute for Cooperative Education. Hadi Afzali. Leila Ayad. Mark Baldassari. Ruba Boutros. Chang Yu Chao. Silvio Gaudio. Andrew Morcus. Shauna O'Donnell with distinction, member of Loyola College for Diversity and Sustainability. Angela Dawn Parker with distinction. Michele Rocco. Samia Tabara with distinction. Texera Crisostomo. Jonathan Sebastian Tissanger, member of Loyola College for Diversity and Sustainability. Slater Watson. Sean Wood. Yulan Ayuan with distinction. Virginie Bellany, Honors History Seminar Option. Ambert Fong. Robin Grasby with distinction. Hold on. Allison Endon. Paul Menard with distinction. Thomas Muir. Mara Stancana. Ana Maria Vera Ramayello. Emily Kadarat with distinction. Marissa Miller with distinction. Mahuba Liza Akhtar. Salim Danji. Christopher Andrew Lankenglong. Sean McPherson. Kwok Dat Nguyen. Bin Zhu.
Mr. Chancellor, I'm pleased to introduce to you the candidates for the Bachelor of Baccalaureate in Arts from the following departments: philosophy, political science, psychology, religion, sociology and anthropology, theological studies, liberal arts college, School of Community and Public Affairs, and Simone de Beauvoir Institute in Women's Studies. Yasmin Jabado. Tina Madeleine Nguyen. Eric Anderson, with distinction, honors political science. Emily Aubry Wake. Tanya Ayala. Janelle Beckman. Catherine Shamus. Arjun Singh Chatwal. Diane Camille Cruz. Davi Seha. Jessica Folietta. Laura Glover. Maha Sleeman. Anne-Sophie Hébert, with great distinction, honors political science. Jenny Ho. Camille Angarao, with distinction, honors political science. Louis Jacon. Murat Kenanoglu. Netanel Kimchi. Darcea Kodesavan. Theo Kiris. Stefan Leacock. Chloé Lyon-Cerf. Diane McKenzie, with distinction, honors political science. Arlene Elizabeth Miles Ned. Nancy Napolitano, with distinction. Laura Nickel. Jonathan Pagato. Thomasina Phillips, with distinction, honors political science. Allison Pinto. Juliana Ramos. Mohammed Rafat. Sean Ryer. Omar Shalabi. Karen Simpsey. Sam Thompson. Christine Vanelli. Petros Volukos. Kim Westerland, with distinction. Yasmin Abugaida. Sarah Al-Sayed. Alexandra Boxer, with distinction. Christina Casola. Samantha Colby. Alessia Di Cesare, with distinction, honors psychology. Brendan Dunn, with distinction. Sandra Fordham. Bianca Garcia, with distinction, honors psychology. Khalil Had. Sarah Hodge. Charlene James. Cathy Jean-Louis. Dulcia. Christopher Kwok, with distinction. Leopoldo Anthony Lepore. Geneviève Lord. Philip Michael Kenneth Mack. Anna Maria Monda. Nina Margherita Poltronetti. Vishnaka Ratnaika. Rishaka Ratnaika. Christine Rodriguez. Adrian Sachs, Honors Psychology. Florence Saint-Ange. Melissa Moskovich. Arafat Al-Sayek. Charlene Bailey. Arel Tony Bana. Candia Bonanno. William Chengizi. Lindsay Chartrand, with great distinction and honors sociology. Donna Craven, with distinction. Veronique Creaney. Rosa D'Andrea. Cynthia Doyon, with distinction, honors sociology. Sasha Hagen. Sandra Harris. Ruth Esther Huang. Melinda Rose Kazanjian. Joanna Mizuraka. Andres Morales Gamboa. Jessie Moda. Keely Murphy. Hannah Marie Pambuan. Gonzalo Paredes. Fanina Esther Polinis. Barboa Interdonato, with great distinction. Daniel Reed. Aya Salhani. Sarah Ming Sum Chi. Brittany Ray Robleski. With distinction. Patricia Hewitt. Paul Leslie.
Isaac Throop.
Isaac Throop. Chanel Blouin, with distinction, honors Western Society and Culture, member of the Liberal Arts College. Melody Cohen, member of School of Community and Public Affairs. Sonia Girard, member of School of Community and Public Affairs. Kimberly Obad, member of School of Community and Public Affairs. I am pleased to introduce to you the candidates for the Bachelor of Baccalaureate in Education. Georgia Golfinopoulos. Jessica Pinto. Paul Starnino.
I'm pleased to introduce to you the candidates for the Bachelor of Baccalaureate in Science from the following departments: Biology, Chemistry and Biochemistry, Exercise Science, Geography, Planning and Environment, Mathematics and Statistics, Physics and Psychology. Abir Al-Kawaji. Radu Alexandru Antoni. Holly Marie Bertrand. Naïm Bedouin. Reem Shauk. Samantha Dabro. Satira Feridouini. Lisa Cristina Fusco. Piratika Sivabalan. Gabrielle Spinard Bernier, with distinction, honors biology. Camille Teodorsko. Monica Treader. Mariam Azam. Sharon Baidwan. Anna Bauer. Rami Shatta, with great distinction, honors biochemistry. Ricky Chu. Jessica Ireland, with distinction, honors biochemistry. Liang Yu Li. Ilya Rybov. Eric Scatozzi. Sarah Slater. Ojike Wosu. Congratulations. Amanda Amoroso. Melissa Gagne. Azadeh Gazimi, with distinction, honors exercise science. Katrina Guglielmucci, with distinction. Madison Kilborn. Jennifer Liddy. Maria Michelle Melendrez, with distinction. Marie-Christiane Pelletier. Kevin Shelton. Coralina T. Sarah White, with distinction. Ezra Amro. Casey Bastet, with distinction. Orain Swaby. Ahmed Abu Snene. Anthony Chu. Alexander Fusarini. Rami Hamoud, with great distinction. Maria Tsirkin. Thea Gregory. Diana Sofia Escobar Moreno, with distinction. Nada Hafez. Sarah Shell, with distinction, honors psychology. Nadusha Vijay Kumar. Daniel Vosberg, with great distinction, honors psychology and behavioral neuroscience. Esfir Yakubova, with great distinction, honors psychology.
It was great. I didn't hear any drums or bongos or pedal steel, so, we did well this year. I can hear you saying, this isn't over, so. Okay, it's now my pleasure, ladies and gentlemen, graduates, to announce the winner of the Governor General's Silver Medal, as we do in such occasions. Now, the Governor General's Silver Medal is awarded on behalf of His Excellency, the Governor General of Canada, Mr. David Johnston, to the highest ranking undergraduate student graduating from our university. She is graduating from the Department of Psychology with a near perfect average grade point. It is with great pleasure that I announce this year's winner, Miss Esther Yakubova, BSc. Esther. Félicitations, Esther. You've done your fellow graduates proud, obviously. Now, it's now my pleasure to introduce the valedictorian for this year's convocation. He's Dr. Francis McManus, who defended his PhD dissertation, and I quote, hang on to this, probing the activity of O6 alkyl-guanine DNA alkyltransferase on alkyline understand cross-linked DNA, end quote. We'll be having an exam on this in a few seconds. Actually, my prepared notes on this would keep me up here about 10 minutes dissertating on things I don't understand at all. But I know one thing from having read this thing 5 or 6 times and given up on trying to make it out, that Francis has, if anything, in the great work, frontier work he's done, that he's moved the frontier of science. And for that, he and Concordia are very proud. During his graduate studies, Dr. McManus has been awarded a number of scholarships, including, and I don't read them all here, but I'll give you a few sprinkles of them, the GRASP Recruitment Award, a Frederick Banting and Charles Best Canada Graduate Scholarship, and the Master's Award. Most recently, he was a recipient of a highly competitive NCERC postdoctoral fellowship, and he's currently pursuing research at the Institute for Research on Immunology and Cancer at the Université de Montréal. I cut it short from here, but trust me, this is a very special individual who will do you proud. I'd like to now ask Dr. Francis McManus to give his valedictory address. Francis?
Thank you for the introduction, and sorry for the title. Yeah, those are always crooked. Huh? Okay. Chancellor Menard, Vice Chairman Amir, President Shepard, Dr. Blais, distinguished guests and participants, fellow students, families, and friends, I'm pleased to address you today on behalf of the graduating students. 8 years ago, I moved here from Quebec City to undertake my studies at Concordia University. On my first day at this university, I can remember waiting for the shuttle bus to take me to Loyola campus from the Sir George campus. I recall feeling anxious on this bus on my way to Loyola, thinking about finding out where my labs and my classes were located. Rather quickly, though, my feelings of angst were replaced as Concordia became a haven to me, with people and challenges that I look forward to every day. The faculty, the staff, and you, my fellow students, all contribute to the supportive atmosphere at this institution that brings out the best in us, and this is something that's special at Concordia University. The direction our lives take is molded, the direction our lives take is molded by decisions we make regarding opportunities we are presented with, events we partake in, and the people we interact with. Indeed, it is important to be surrounded by people and an environment that will nurture us and foster our development so that we can develop to our fullest potential. And Concordia excels in both of these aspects. This institution fosters collaborative work with faculty and staff that are easily accessible and willing to help. There is a strong sense of community and unity instilled amongst us at this institution. And one of Concordia's mottos is real education for the real world. Now that I'm pursuing my postdoctoral studies, I can appreciate the rigorous emphasis on fundamental principles from my undergraduate classes and research training for my graduate work. The solid foundation has allowed me to have abilities, confidence, and know-how to apply what I've learned and to adapt to new situations in a competitive research environment. Ce que nous avons accompli est considérable, et beaucoup de notre succès peut être attribué à nos parents. Aujourd'hui est une journée pour célébrer nos réussites et nos prouesses, mais c'est aussi une occasion de remercier nos familles. Nos familles ont joué un rôle important dans notre scolarité. Elles nous ont enseigné la valeur de l'éducation et de l'éthique de travail. S'il vous plaît, prenez le temps après la cérémonie de reconnaître leur contribution à vos réussites. There are two fundamental elements that I've learned during my studies and that have provided me with some degree of success in which I would like to share with you today. First, work hard no matter the task at hand. It's a simple concept, it's easy to apply, and to cite Thomas Jefferson, it seems the harder I work, the more luck I have. Secondly, as Dr. Wilds confided to me during my PhD, it's important to have balance in life. In science, there's times where experiments won't work. So before you get too discouraged, put a little distance between you and the problem and do something positive, like going out with friends or watching TV or whatever it is you like. Then when you come back, refreshed, you're ready to take on the problem. So in closing, I'd like to thank, amongst many, Dr. Wilds, Dr. Robidoux, Dr. Turnbull, Dr. Anne Nerona, of course, for their support, their insight, and their time. I would like to thank my family, my wife, Christine, my children, Lucy and Noah, my parents, Michel and Gary, and my grandparents, Jean-Robert and Janine Delaurier. And of course, I would like to thank you all for your attention and wish all of you success in your future endeavors. Thank you.
Merci beaucoup, David, pour ces propos inspirants. Petit gars de Québec, qui est venu changer Montréal, puis qui a déjà eu un impact. It's stimulating to hear his remind us that we're never alone. We're surrounded by friends, faculty, parents, all kinds of accomplices in our successes. And also to be reminded, we all know this, that somehow when you work hard, you get lucky. He's been very lucky, obviously. And that experiencing failure is no reason to get discouraged. It's the pathway to success, and God knows that David McManus has been very successful for his achievements, and let's all wish him our best in the continuing studies and his postdoctoral work. Well done, David. Merci. Now let me ask our Provost to give a few closing remarks and invite you to celebration. Provost?
Mesdames et messieurs, merci. Merci d'être venus en si grand nombre partager avec nous la joie de nos diplômés. Thank you all for being here to celebrate the tremendous achievement and success of the class of 2013. Dear graduate, one last word. Throughout your studies, you've had the full support of your professors and other members of the Concordia community. Just as importantly, you've also had the full support of your family and friends, many of whom are here today to celebrate with you. If they could not be here physically, they're here in spirit, perhaps watching the ceremony live on our website. Some may be doing that in the middle of the night, half a world away. I'll ask you to do one thing. Graduates, please stand up. Please stand up for me. As you can see, everyone's really, really proud of you. Now turn around 180 degrees so that you're facing the back of the room. I'd like the applause to go the other way. Now let your friends and family know how much you love them, how much you appreciate their support. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. This is a great moment. Please have a seat. Please have a seat. Dear graduates, Concordia will always be your university. Maybe you'll come back for further studies here. Or maybe, like myself, who graduated here from Concordia about 20 years ago, you'll have the chance to come back here to work. Maybe one day you'll be the proud parents of the next generation of Concordia University students. As alumni, you also play an important role in supporting our students and in promoting the reputation of our great university. And wherever you go, I'm sure you'll continue to make us very, very proud. So we've come to the end of the ceremony. Thank you. Merci. Thank you so much for being here with us today. Merci beaucoup, and as we leave the hall, please join us for a vin d'honneur in the foyer. Thank you.